All right, folks, this is a Oklahoma weather alert just before 3:30 here on this Saturday afternoon. William Cole here live in the Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV Forecast Center. And folks, we are still tracking this winter storm, or really the aftermath, across parts of Oklahoma this afternoon. Phillip McGee, he's basically been giving us a grand tour of really the western sides of the Oklahoma City metro, and that tour is going to continue. Basically, he's just kind of driving around, showing us some of the neighborhoods, showing us still some of the ice buildup on the trees, some of the tree damage, and then also some of the power lines that have either been stressed or damaged as well. Now, the very latest from OG&E, still 70,000 people without power here in Oklahoma, so a fairly large number. A lot of them right here in the Oklahoma City metro, primarily Bethany, the western Oklahoma City town specifically, and then also out towards El Reno. But again, still a lot of people late this afternoon without power. Power restoration, of course, in progress from our friends there at OG&E. So let's go take a look at the live watch and warning map. This is what's going on now late this afternoon. And if you look out in the Oklahoma Panhandle, this right here, this is actually new. So this is a brand new, really freezing fog advisory issued for all of the Oklahoma Panhandle. There's going to be fog possible out there with temperatures below freezing. So freezing fog likely in the Oklahoma Panhandle, then really a good portion of the Texas Panhandle as well, including Amarillo. Here in Oklahoma, again, where you're seeing that orange, that's a traveler's advisory. That's going to be the opportunity for some light, wintry weather as we go through the overnight period. For central Oklahoma, Oklahoma County specifically, also Canadian County, and then also Caddo County, ice storm warning does continue for those three counties right there. Let's go and take a look at live mesoscan radar, and the frozen precipitation, it is now moving back into parts of Oklahoma County. We're going to take a closer look at this here in a second, but where you're seeing the purple there, that's freezing rain. So again, we're seeing this liquid precipitation change back over to freezing rain right here in central Oklahoma, and then also to our southwest as well, locations really even as far south as Chickasha, with the opportunity for a cold rain, again changing over to some type of wintry precipitation here over about the next hour, and then across parts of eastern Oklahoma, some more in the way of light scattery showery activity ongoing across that part of the state. But first of all, let's go and take a look here at central Oklahoma. First of all, let's go and zoom the radar in, and we're going to take a closer look here. And folks, you can really see here, really over about the last 30 minutes or so, the temperature is starting to ease back down to right around 32 degrees. So again, wintry type freezing rain is at least going to be possible across parts of Oklahoma County. Off the mesonet, Oklahoma City specifically is still at 33 degrees, but again, we're basically right there at the cusp of going back down to 32. Keep in mind, anytime that temperature is really at 32 or below, again, that's when you have the opportunity for some freezing rain. And again, that's what we're tracking very closely right here in Oklahoma County. Across Canadian County, we basically had freezing rain throughout the day, really only making the situation worse out there in El Reno. And then again, further to the southwest, again, we're starting to see a little bit of at least an opportunity for that rain changing over to some freezing rain. As I zoom out the radar, take a look across southwestern Oklahoma, again, down there across parts of Kiowa County, just really to the southeast of Hobart. Again, you see more of that purple building in. Again, that's the opportunity for rain changing over, at least the possibility, to some freezing rain. Across parts of south central Oklahoma, some light scattered showers in really Cleveland County, all the way down to really near the Pauls Valley, down through the Ardmore area right there along the I-35 corridor. And then across parts of eastern Oklahoma, as we pull the radar a little bit further to the east, again, you can really see just a lot of scattered showery activity, really from the Tulsa metro to the east, locations like Grove, Veneta up there in northeastern Oklahoma, all the way down through really the I-40 corridor. We're talking about from Fort Smith, Arkansas, back to the west, Stigler, Poto, even down through the McAllister area. Again, eastern Oklahoma, you folks have really been hit hard with, again, some flooding, really over about the last 24 hours or so. As we go back to the live watch and warning map, all those green counties you're seeing there in eastern Oklahoma, those are all river flood warnings, and that's because eastern Oklahoma, you folks have seen anywhere from 5 to 7 to 9 inches of rain, again, over about the last 30 hours. Let me go and pull up some live rainfall amounts here real quick. Again, just to take a look there at eastern Oklahoma. And again, these have been extremely impressive. If you look down across parts of southeastern Oklahoma, look at Hugo down here. And really about the last 30 hours, they've had 9 inches of rain with ongoing flood warnings there. But again, multiple other locations here, anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rain. Very common, again, with river flooding ongoing across parts of eastern Oklahoma. Keep in mind, this map right here, it's always available on our website, oklahomaweathertracker.com, and also on our mobile app, the Oklahoma Weather Tracker mobile app. You can always pull this map up and take a look at it in real time and see precipitation as it's falling, the actual amounts across Oklahoma. So let's go back to Phillip McGee again. He's kind of been giving us our guided tour this afternoon across parts of the Oklahoma City metro. And Phillip, let me go and get your stream pulled back up here. And Phillip, go and tell us, you're back on the live line here with us. Go ahead and tell us where you are now. I think you're in northwestern parts of the Oklahoma City metro. Again, tell us where you are and kind of tell us what you're seeing this afternoon. Again, if you're just now joining us here on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV, Phillip McGee, our lead storm tracker, he's basically just giving us a guided tour across parts of really the western sides of the Oklahoma City metro and now the northwestern sides. And again, he's basically just driving us around, showing us some of the ice that's built up, some of the tree damage, some of the power lines that have also been stressed or damaged as well. And again, like I mentioned, this is basically just a guided tour. So Phillip, again, you're on the live line. Go ahead and tell us where you are now and basically tell us what you're seeing.
Okay, William, I am at Council and just past 206. And so I'm really far northwestern Oklahoma City metro. I mean, there's still a lot of houses out in this area. You know, I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that how dangerous this ice was, kind of a pretty sight to be out looking at. That being said, I don't advise that. Roads are still, they're wet with intermittent slick spots. As I was just sitting at that intersection, it's a stop sign there at 206, and as I began to take off, I also lost traction. That meaning there is still some black ice conditions out here. You had just covered it better than anything by saying that the temperatures, you know, have really started to decrease, and that freezing rain is starting to make its way back up to this area. That's not really what they need, to be quite honest with you. I mean, as you can see from the stream, it is nothing but a winter wonderland right now with all of the ice that has accumulated on the plants, on the fence post, and everywhere. And so that being said, I haven't seen any down power lines yet or anything like that. Looks like that a lot of the houses, from what I can tell, still have power out in this area. There's going to be several different services that actually, you know, take care of this. So I know, I believe OG&E has the biggest part of it, but and that doesn't necessarily show up on System Watch. So for those folks that have that rural electric cooperative, you know, we need to also keep those people in consideration too whenever we're doing these updates.
Yeah, absolutely, Phillip. That's a great point. So yeah, so obviously when we're talking about off the System Watch, that's OG&E, but of course there's other local electrical cooperatives across parts of Oklahoma as well. So again, multiple people without power. It's really just a bad deal all the way around. Of course, it happening over the long Thanksgiving holiday. So definitely not a good situation. But Phillip, tell us also this. How are the roads? It looks like overall you're driving fairly good throughout the afternoon as you kind of started on the eastern sides of the Oklahoma City metro, moved us now really up onto really the northwestern sides of the metro. Overall, the roads have been wet, but you have had a few slick spots. So as people are watching your live stream here, again, they look wet. It looks like you're driving okay. But again, you have still hit a few black ice spots this afternoon. Is that right?
That is correct. I haven't had a chance to take a look at the Oklahoma Highway Patrol's latest map. Maybe you can do that for the folks. But up far northwestern Oklahoma, and I'm headed up towards Cashin right now. But I would say that the driving conditions up here are 10 times worse than what it is in Oklahoma City Metro itself. Those roads were, you know, moderately wet. These are extremely wet with ponding in the lower lying ruts, you know, in the center of the road. You can probably see that really well in the stream as we're bringing this live to the folks via Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. So with that being said, definitely want to use your driving cautions while you're up in this area if you have to come up here. And like I said, to take in consideration also that we're right on the cusp of that freezing line like you were talking about, where those temperatures are hovering around the 32-degree mark. And so it doesn't take very much. And there's a little bit of wind that's up here also, not a whole lot, and it's kind of a false sense because you look at some of the flags and everything else, you're not going to not get a good indication because those things are frozen solid anyway. But you know, something that we haven't covered was wind chill And if you do break down in your vehicle, the potential for frostbite is definitely there.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you're absolutely right there, Philip. Again, temperatures, there in the lower 30s. We're talking about really anywhere from 33 down to right around 31 degrees here in the Oklahoma City metro. In fact, let's go and take a look at some live temperatures across Oklahoma. As Philip continues to drive there, we're going to really get right back to a stream. But let's take a look at just a few of these live numbers out there. And again, you're seeing a lot of blue on this map. That's because we're seeing a lot of 30s out there. And again, you really have to kind of connect the dots here with the 32s, because remember, anytime the temperature's at 32 or below, that's when you have that changeover opportunity, at least, to some freezing rain. And really that freezing line starts up here across parts of north central Oklahoma, around Newkirk and Ponca City, snakes all the way down through Guthrie. Keep in mind, just to the west of Stillwater. Stillwater currently 33 for that big Bedlam game, but that temperature in Stillwater, folks, has actually eased down a degree here over about the last hour. So we're going to have to watch that real carefully. And then that freezing line there on the western sides of the Oklahoma City metro, and then snaking all the way down into parts of southwestern Oklahoma. But again, below freezing, sub-freezing temperatures here. So yeah, again, if you are caught outside, Philip's extremely right on that. Again, that's a bad deal. And again, the opportunity for some cold weather, health-related issues are definitely there, and a frostbite, yeah, definitely being one of them. Philip, back to your stream there. And again, you're continuing there on the far northwestern sides of Oklahoma County. You're just basically kind of giving us a walkthrough here of what you're seeing with really the aftermath of this ice storm across parts of central Oklahoma.
Okay, William. Yeah, I'm actually going to turn back, and I'm going to look back to the northwest. I'm going to back up here just a second. But as you can tell in my stream, here is another reason that people need to be driving with caution whenever they're out on these roads. There are two, not just one, but two snapped power lines right directly in front of us that are feeding a large, looks like maybe a farm granary or something like that, maybe fertilizer plant. I'm reading one of the back of the trucks, and so, yeah, it's a fertilizer plant. But that being said, very hazardous, because if you look where those power lines are laying down right now, they're right across the back of that pickup truck. I'm going to try and zoom in just a little bit here and see if we can maybe even back up a little bit more and get a better view at that.
But yeah, so that's just an example of why we are having some of these power issues. And again, OG&E reporting at least 70,000 people without power across parts of Oklahoma. It's just basically because these power lines have become stressed with that ice buildup. And again, either they're bending over, they're bowing, the lines are bowing, or again, the actual, power, really the power line itself is basically just being snapped over. And again, that's basically what we're seeing here with Philip's shot. He kind of zoomed out a little bit, but so that basically fell right over on that truck. Is that what it is there, Philip? So we see the end of, if you look over here, that's really the top of the power line. And again, this is potentially like a fertilizer truck. So fertilizer and sparks, probably not that good of a deal. Of course, we don't know if there's actually a fertilizer in that truck or not. But again, yeah, that's probably not the best situation we're seeing right there.
Right, absolutely. I'm pretty sure that the driver of that truck is well aware of what happened. I wouldn't recommend going up and grabbing a hold of any metal surface, not knowing if that live is a live line or not. So, we're going to stress the fact again that the power companies, and there's several of them that are going to be involved in this. It's not just one specific company that's going to be involved in repairing all of these poles and down lines and everything else. So not really sure what service this is, whether it's actually a live or a dead line right now. And that's another thing that we need to cover. If you do come up on something like that, the best thing is to make a big circle around it. Don't drive over it or whatever else, because you don't know if that line is still alive or if it's dead, and you're only putting yourself in danger whenever something like that happens. So.
No, absolutely. Great advice there, Phillip McGee. And so that's, again, just a prime example of why we are, again, having some of these power outages, unfortunately, across parts of Oklahoma, as we're basically looking at the aftermath of really this ice storm that's unfolded across parts of western and central Oklahoma here, really over about the last 30 hours or so. Again, some locations picking up over a half an inch of ice accumulating on some of these surfaces. And, of course, really the critical threshold is a half an an inch of ice. Once you get to a half an inch of ice, that's when it really becomes critical. Things can happen before that, but once you're getting to a half an inch, it's bad news normally. And again, from what we've seen as far as what pictures of people have tweeted us throughout the day, and again, what Phillip has seen this afternoon as well, there's been several locations that have seen over a half an inch of ice, so we've gone well over that critical mark. And again, that's why we are again seeing those power outages across a good portion of central Oklahoma, primarily the western sides of the Oklahoma City metro. And Phillip, it looks like you're still heading north there. Again, just kind of give us an update again where you are exactly, and again, kind of what you're seeing there across. Looks like with your live GPS, it looks like you crossed out of Oklahoma County and you're up in looks like Logan County right now.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, William. Kind of on a dividing line right now. Kingfisher County is kind of to my left. Canadian County is kind of to my southwest. And then Logan County is to my right, and Oklahoma County would be to my southeast. So that's why they refer to this. A lot of times you'll hear the Four Corners area, and that's the reason that they call it that. So all four counties meet right there at that section. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm headed north on county line towards the Cashin area. There was some reports earlier today that there was some more down power lines, a lot of tree damage and stuff like that in Cashin proper, and so I'm going to go up there and kind of check that out. That's what this whole Weather Tracker TV is about. Plus, we try to bring the whole entire state, weather-wise, and keep extent of out of these kind of remote areas. Bring this.
Absolutely, Phillip. Yeah, and your cell phone is a little bit in and out there. Are you still with us there? We may be losing you just a little bit. Are you still there with us? Your stream is still coming in, but did we lose your cell phone?
I dropped down at a low spot. You probably have my signal back. There's going to be one more area that I might actually lose you. So, if you do, you may have to call me back here just real quick. But we're making our way almost. We're a couple of miles just to the south of Cashin right now. I don't know if you can still hear me or not, but.
Yeah, Phillip, we have you loud and clear now. You did just kind of dip out for a second, but no, you're back now perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Like I said, we're just a couple of miles out.
And as soon as I said that, I think we lost
the road.
You. Okay, there we go. All right, Phillip McGee, we may have lost you there. We still have your stream. And basically, Phillip, just north of Oklahoma County, he's basically right now between Logan County and also Kingfisher County. He's tracking up towards the Cashin area. We can actually take a look at his live GPS here on radar. Let me go and zoom this radar out, and I'll show you folks exactly where he is. If you're just now joining us, going on 3:45 here on this Saturday afternoon, Phillip McGee, basically, he has given us a guided tour this afternoon from really the western sides of the Oklahoma City metro, or from the eastern sides, rather, all the way through the western sides and now really the northern sides of the Oklahoma City metro, basically just kind of looking at the aftermath of this ice storm. Again, looking for tree damage, power line damage. We've really seen all of it as we've gone throughout the afternoon. But again, he's basically looped all of Oklahoma County, and he's basically just been our tour guide live today, or live this afternoon on Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. This is his live GPS, so he's right here. Basically, that's the Four Corners area he was talking about, and now he's just lifting to the north there between Logan and Kingfisher County, there on really the far northwestern sides of the Oklahoma City metro, heading up there near the Cashin area. And Phillip, are you still on the live line? I know your cell phone service there kind of dipped out for a second, but are you still live on the line with us? Has it kind of recovered there a little bit?
Yeah, it's actually recovered real well. Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear, to be quite honest with you. So now we are in Cashin proper. We just hit the city limits, and we're going to start looking to see what kind of collateral damage that this ice storm has caused.
Okay, absolutely. And we've got you loud and clear, Phillip. And again, it looks like for the most part up there, we're still seeing a lot of that ice on the trees. Not really seeing any limbs on the ground where you're driving through currently.
Not on the ground. I don't know, like there's about a probably 15-second delay on the stream before you get it and are actually able to broadcast it out live. But low-hanging branches across the road for sure. I'm fixing to drive under one right now that is literally probably 4 or 5 foot above the ground. Through it.
And we may have just lost you there again, Philip. Again, where Philip is, the cell phone service is just a little spotty at times, so he may kind of dip in and out just a little bit at that location that he's in right now. They're heading on into the Cashin area. And Philip, are you still there with us? It almost looks like your stream may have froze there as well. Are you still there with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay,
I'm
there we go.
I'm going to go ahead and start it and stop it again and see if that works.
It's back up and going.
Okay. And as I'm pulling into Cashin proper, the first thing that I see now, this is going to be a perfect example of what I was talking about. They have it marked off right now, which is the best thing in the whole wide world. But I'm going to shoot right up here, and you can see that even though that pole is snapped in half, there's still power to it. The light for the ready bright light, or that's what we used to call it, or the night light, is still burning. So there's still a live power line, active to this house. I don't know if they've lost power inside or whatever else, but the smart thing is they do have it coned off, for people to avoid this area.
Hey, Philip, let me just interject one thing real quick here. We just got this from the Red Cross. We're going to get right back to what you're saying. But the Red Cross here in central Oklahoma, Oklahoma County, they've actually just opened up a warming station. This is going to be at the First United Methodist Church. That's at 131 Northwest 4th Street. That's basically right there in downtown Oklahoma City. But again, if you have been affected, you don't have power currently. Again, the Red Cross, they have opened up a warming station there at the First United Methodist Church. Again, the exact address, if you had to put into your GPS, is at 131 Northwest 4th Street, and I did just tweet that out as well. But again, if you are affected, you don't currently have power. Of course, temperatures right now really at that cusp of going below freezing here again in the Oklahoma City metro. Again, a warming station from the Red Cross has been set up now, at least the evening into looks like the first part of the overnight. So just wanted to pass that on along as well. But Philip, back to you there in Cashin and back to what you're telling us there on your live stream.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say that, we have said it before, and I'm going to say it one more time, that, not everybody has came up on all the damage that's occurred, and that's why we're kind of out trying to inform people of the areas that they might want to try and avoid. This specifically as one of the prime examples of that. We're seeing the down power line. Of course, the tree is laying on top of it. It even goes further back to the east from where my location is right now. But if you notice, there's still power. The light is still lit on that pole. So if a person was to walk near that, they have a potential for the electric shock. And that's definitely something that we want to get out to folks is try to avoid those areas at all costs. If you walk outside, the power pole is down. Don't try to go over and move it or anything else like that. Let the people that know exactly what they're doing take care of those issues.
That's a great point, Philip. And just so everyone can see, this light, see how it's still lit up? It's actually turned on. So what Philip is saying is, so this is a live, and there's a line that goes off of it. So this is a live, basically a power line that's down with this light. So, like Philip was saying, I mean, that's great advice. If you do see a down power line, if you do see a down power pole, stay away from it. It's nothing you want to get near. You don't know if it's on or if it's off. Just because a power pole is down doesn't mean there's no electricity flowing through it or flowing through the line or even a light for that matter, like Phillip McGee just showed us there. So again, that's great advice from Philip. Again, if there's a power pole down, a power line down, a light down, it doesn't matter what it is. If it has to do with electricity, stay away from it, especially now because it's wet as well. And again, you just don't know, again, if it's still carrying a charge to there or not. Philip, back to you there in Cashin.
Okay, as you can tell, now I'm going to kind of creep just a little bit further back to the west here in just a second, but I came up on the east end of this block, and you can see that the power pole with the light that is attached to it has completely snapped in half, and the power line is laying down in the yard, and it snakes across this yard and then up to the other pole. I'm going to kind of ease forward so that the folks can get a good idea of what I'm talking about here. And it crosses across this person's drive, so they're going to have to drive across that. We know for a fact that the west end of this power line is still live, and so I would assume that more than likely the east end is going to be the same way. So these folks technically are basically trapped into their yard with that down power line being in between the road and their little covered shelter there for their vehicles. So I don't know if you can see that or not in the stream. But I'm going to say something else too. I'm going to kind of move over to the southwest section. This is directly across the street, and you can see the damage that's been caused up here. Pretty extensive as far as trees and everything else. Now this is laying on a fence, but basically, if you didn't know better, and this was under other circumstances, you would swear that a tornado has came through here, because all of the tops of the trees have basically been snapped out, from the very top. So it looks like something a lot worse. But basically, all ice damage, the weight, and you were just mentioning just a second ago that there was probably 3/4 of an inch of ice, if not upwards to an inch. And I would agree with that wholeheartedly, that, this probably pushing that inch for sure on all of these elevated surfaces.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it there for sure, Phillip. Just what we're seeing based on the trees there, it looks like anywhere from a half an inch plus, maybe even going on an inch. And we're seeing all those trees there draped over. Again, that power pole down as well, the power pole with the light on it down that Phillip showed us just about 3 minutes ago there as well. And all this right there in the town. He's actually in the town of Cashin right now, which is just really to the north of the Oklahoma City metro.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be driving.
Phillip, you're still live there with us.
Yeah, I'm still. You can hear me now.
Yeah, we still got you there.
Okay, just kind of give me an idea of damage that's going on up here. Looks very familiar from what we've seen down there in Bethany earlier today. A lot of limbs and a lot of damage from the weight of this ice being on these trees, and they just can't handle the weight. So we've seen a couple of down power lines up here. Don't know exactly how many people are affected, because, like we said, they might be on a completely different power grid with a completely different company, and we don't know if they're out or not. So from the looks of things, that power pole still had energy to it. Don't know if the houses were affected by that or not. I'm probably pretty sure that they were. So with that being said, I want to hand it back to you for right now, just kind of cruising around town here, seeing what kind of damage we can see. If we see any more down lines or anything like that, then I'll get right back to you, okay?
All right, Phillip McGee, really appreciate that. Again, great job today. Phillip there still in Cashin, Oklahoma, which is just to the north of the Oklahoma City metro. And again, Phillip has basically taken us from the eastern sides of the Oklahoma City metro earlier today, really from I-4, or from really 44, the Turner Turnpike basically, and really looped all the way through Oklahoma County, the western sides of the Oklahoma City metro, northwestern sides of the metro, and now he's on the northern sides of the Oklahoma City metro up around the Cashin area. And basically, Phillip has just taken us on a guided tour this afternoon, showing us again the ice accumulation, some power poles that have been down, some power poles that were down in streets that again they were literally dragging out of streets with sparks flying. We saw that a little earlier this afternoon as well. So again, we've seen a lot, and again, Phillip's done a great job again giving us this guided tour really across parts of central Oklahoma. And again, unfortunately at this hour, again, still 70,000 people, at least with OG&E, still without power now late this afternoon. So not a good situation. And again, like I just passed a few minutes ago, the Red Cross, they did open that warming station at the United Methodist Church. That's right there in downtown Oklahoma City off 4th Street. And again, a warming station. If you don't have power, you can go there and get warm throughout this evening, as again, temperatures are really only in the 30s right here in central Oklahoma. Let's talk about the Bedlam forecast real quick. Of course, Bedlam just a couple hours away now. I know people are up in Stillwater getting ready for the game. And really across really all of Oklahoma, people getting ready for the game. Even if you're not going to it, of course, you're probably getting ready for it. Here's the updated Bedlam forecast. I just put this together with the newest information just really about an hour and a half ago. But for the game, the way it looks right now, it looks like we may still see some scattered cold rain showers at kickoff. Temperature between 34 and 35 for kickoff, so just above freezing. As we go through the game, by the fourth quarter, temperature right around 33 to 34 degrees. And it looks like the scattered showers are going to really kind of tail off to more in the way of drizzle the way it looks right now. So So again, we're going to be razor close to dropping down to that 32-degree mark. Keep in mind, when you're at 32, that's when you have the transition zone from liquid over to freezing type precipitation. But again, the way it looks now with all the model data that we've looked at, the big Bedlam game up there in Stillwater, it looks like right now it's going to stay just above freezing. So that's good news. But if you are going to the game, if you're out in Stillwater tonight for any reason, it's going to be cold and it is going to be damp again through this evening. So definitely, you want to dress in layers, and you definitely obviously want to have that rain gear going as well. I probably don't have to tell you that, but that's definitely mandatory again heading up around the Stillwater, even around the Oklahoma City metro as well. If you're going to be out and about at all this evening, of course, we really don't recommend any kind of travel. We've seen Phillip McGee overall, the roads haven't been too bad this afternoon, but again, he did still have a few slick spots out there. There's still some black ice. So again, it's really one of those evenings. If you don't have to drive, it's better to just really not even get out there at all. Let's go and take a look at the watch and warning map here real quick. Let's go and take a look at the overview, then we'll take a look at radar again as well. And as we get this pulled up here, for the Oklahoma Panhandle, first of all, this is a freezing fog advisory. So all of the Oklahoma Panhandle, a good portion of the Texas Panhandle, freezing fog advisory through tonight. That's basically fog that is going to be freezing. It's very similar to freezing rain, but normally the accumulations are just a little bit less. So freezing fog here as we go through the evening into the overnight period. The counties you see in orange, this is all a traveler's advisory. It does include the Norman area. It does include Stillwater, back through Ponca City, Enid, even back up through Buffalo, Woodward, Gage, Clinton, back out through Eric, the Altus, Hobart area, then also back through Lawton, even Duncan included in that, Pauls Valley there in Garvin County as well. And that's going to be the opportunity for at least some light frozen precipitation as we go through the overnight period. Now keep in mind, Payne County, Stillwater, it is included in this, so there is going to be the opportunity right here along the leading edge for a little bit of wintry precipitation. But again, the way it looks with the latest data in Stillwater, we will see all liquid type precipitation for the game. But the Weather Service just went ahead and issued that traveler's advisory just in case, because again, that freezing line is going to be so close even to the Stillwater area. So keep that in mind as well. Let's go and pull up a radar here one more time. We'll go and take a look at live mesoscan radar and see what's going on across the state now late this afternoon. And again, basically what we're seeing right here in central Oklahoma, there's that transition zone. There's that changeover. You're seeing purple from really Canadian County through Oklahoma County. And again, that's going to be the opportunity for some frozen precipitation, again, building back in. Now, amounts a little bit lighter than what we saw last night, but again, the crossover, the changeover to some type of freezing rain is now likely in, again, central Oklahoma, back into parts of Canadian County, also parts of Logan County, including the Guthrie area as well. Light scattered showers moving through the Stillwater area, and then some light scattered showers with a little bit of freezing rain trying to mix in across parts of southeastern Oklahoma. Also some light freezing rain across parts of northwestern Oklahoma. You see it fairly scattered there, and then some very light showers across parts of eastern Oklahoma as well. Eastern Oklahoma, you folks over here have seen some real flooding over about the last 24 to 30 hours. Let's go ahead and take a look at live rainfall amounts across eastern Oklahoma. Then there's some locations over there that have picked up 5 to 6 to 7 to 9 inches of rain really over about the last 24 to 30 hours. Look down here across parts of southeastern Oklahoma. Look at Hugo down here, 9 inches of rain. Again, most of that falling here within about the last 30 hours or so. Again, that's why there are flood warnings ongoing across that part of the state. But other locations over here, again, picking up anywhere from 3 to 5 inches. The southern sides of Tulsa right there around the Jinx area, again, going on 4 inches of rain. Let's see, Coweta, almost 5 inches of rain. Okmulgee, over 5 inches of rain. And then even McAllister there, over 5 inches of rain. And Derek Jordan, he was down in McAllister yesterday reporting for us live. And of course, he was talking about rivers that were basically about to go over their banks, rivers and streams down across parts of Pittsburgh County. So it's been an ongoing weather event here, like I mentioned, for the last 24 to 30 hours across Oklahoma, with wintry precipitation west and central. And then again, like I mentioned, this ongoing flooding across parts of eastern Oklahoma. So that's where we are, folks. Thanks for joining us here for this update really throughout the afternoon, as Phillip McGee's been bringing us really his live stream of really the aftermath of the ice storm. We'll be back with the radar update here just a little later on this evening. Keep it with Oklahoma Weather Tracker TV. We'll keep you up to date with the latest live weather information for Oklahoma.